There is an island in New York's East River where a woman spent about a quarter of her life locked in a one-room cottage. She was never charged with a crime, she was never tried, she was never convicted. And she died there anyway, still detained. This has been called America's hardest question about freedom, and it began with a plate of dessert. In the summer of 1906, the banker Charles Henry Warren rented a grand summer house in Oyster Bay, Long Island. 6 of the 11 people inside came down with typhoid fever, a disease of crowded slums, not seaside mansions. The landlord, terrified his house would never rent again, hired an investigator. Not a doctor, a sanitary engineer named George Soper. Soper worked backward. He learned the family had hired a new cook 3 weeks before the fever arrived, and that she had vanished soon after. He traced her name through the employment agencies of New York, house by house, year by year. In most of the wealthy households where Mary Mallon had cooked, typhoid had followed. She arrived, the fever came, she left. The science he was carrying was almost brand new. A healthy carrier, a person who harbors live typhoid bacteria and sheds them to others while never feeling sick a single day. Mallon cooked with her hands, and her signature dish was peaches and ice cream, served raw. Cooking kills the bacterium. A cold dessert delivers it straight to the table. When Soper confronted her in a kitchen and asked for samples of her blood and stool, she is said to have driven him off with a carving fork. To her, the accusation was madness. She had never been ill in her life. In March 1907, the city health department came with police. Dr. Sarah Josephine Baker rode with her in the ambulance, reportedly helping to hold her down. Tests found her teeming with live typhoid bacteria. She was ferried to North Brother Island, an isolation hospital in the East River, and given a cottage alone. She was asked to believe an invisible science against the plain evidence of her own healthy body. She never did. In 1909, her lawyer filed a writ of habeas corpus, arguing she was imprisoned without charge and without trial, having committed no crime at all. The court agreed with the facts and denied her anyway. The health department's power to quarantine outweighed her liberty. Then, in February 1910, a new health commissioner set her free on a single condition. She must never cook again. Here is the trap. Cooking was the best paid work an unmarried Irish immigrant woman could get. Laundry paid a fraction. Slowly, under assumed names, she drifted back to the kitchens, and outbreaks drifted with her. In 1915, typhoid swept the Sloan Maternity Hospital in Manhattan. About 25 people infected, 2 dead. The cook had been hired under the name Mrs. Brown. It was Mary Mallon. This time there was no sympathy and no release. She was returned to North Brother Island and stayed 23 more years, until a stroke and then death in 1938. In all, the documented record ties her to roughly 50 infections and 3 deaths. She was never convicted of any of it, because none of it was a crime. And here is the question that never closed. New York identified many other healthy carriers, some blamed for more deaths than her, and let them go free. Was her lifelong detention a necessary act of public protection, a proven source who broke her promise while people died? Or was it an injustice, the indefinite imprisonment of a poor immigrant woman singled out by class and prejudice, punished without trial for a condition she never chose and never believed? Some say protection, some say injustice. The debate never closed. Mary Mallon was quarantined, not sentenced, detained, never convicted. She is buried under the name history gave her instead, Typhoid Mary. This has been under oath.